Hey everybody, Alex Meller here. I want to ask the question, why are people interested in cryptocurrency? And then I think in the background, it's a great moment in history to ask the question in a very general way, what is money? What do people want money to be? In the end, I want to talk a little bit about some of the central bank digital currencies you may have seen in the news, but I'm going to make a few other pit stops first. So, as a preface to this, there's a lot of people out there that think cryptocurrency is a big scam. And I like to say that people who think it's stupid are correct. They just ignore that a lot of other things they take for granted are stupid too. So I'm going to try to compare it to some other things. So first, when I first started paying attention to the crypto world, one appeal was privacy. And that intersected a lot with distrust of the government I'll discuss in a second. The idea was that nobody knew how many bitcoins you had. You could memorize your private key and then just destroy all the evidence. No one could prove you had bitcoins at all. I think this is interesting given the path we've taken. Both Bitcoin is not as private as it used to be. And I at one point came to realize that cash, in terms of just paper bills and coins, is very, very private. And among all the different things that we call money, is the one that really seems to be on the way out. Okay, so second, it was much discussed during the pandemic, the infamous money printer go burr. The government printed a lot more money. People are concerned about inflation. So one appeal of this, these cryptocurrencies that have some kind of algorithm regulating their supply is, if you don't trust the government not to print a bunch of money, it's something that's kind of like money that doesn't have that liability. At this point, I think in the world where we don't have the gold standard anymore, fiat money is really chartalist in the sense that, well, what can you really do with fiat money that you can't do with anything else? You can pay your taxes, and then probably somebody else who has something you want also needs to pay their taxes, so it creates a natural demand for this thing. And it's a very kind of statist reason why it has any value, in my judgment. Okay, so going back to the gold standard, gold, which is also hugely overvalued relative to what you can intrinsically use it for, was a long time our notion of money. I would argue that, in the end, it's really just the bigger sucker theory. Gold is this thing that people have accepted for a long time that you can exchange for other things. And I would argue it's in a 5,000-year bubble market. And, maybe this is a great time. A bubble is not necessarily a bad thing if it doesn't pop. And if you look at Bitcoin as a sort of digital gold, maybe this is great. Okay, so that's a whirlwind tour of different kinds of things people call money, their ins and outs, privacy, relationship with the state, just maybe social agreement that something is valuable being fine. They're working on these central bank digital currencies right now, and I think I'm maybe going to argue that they're dumb. So China put out a digital yuan. It seems like if you use this digital currency, you're letting the government of China know absolutely everything about all your economic activity all the time. I think a lot of wealthy Chinese people have a lot of concerns about this kind of thing. And as an American, it's really easy to understand. So you've got to give that idea an F on privacy. If you didn't trust the government and you don't like the statist angle, it's kind of like a double F minus. If you're one of these digital gold people, you like being in a big slow motion bubble, this argument that, stability, cryptocurrency is so volatile. Well, hey, I'm here for the volatility, man. I don't really want stability. I like that it goes up and down and mostly up. And so if you kind of look at ways people think about money, these central bank digital currencies seem like they're actually good for this scenario where you've got a business, you've got a lot of complicated dealings with people, and you just need some unit of account for just keeping track of how much of who owes who, just getting all your records in one place in a sensible way. And I would say that this is exactly where our existing fiat currency works just fine, especially since the bigger, more sophisticated players in this game, the money they owe to the government is one of the most important lines on the balance sheet. So just to sum up here, and I'd appreciate everybody's feedback on this, central bank digital currencies are very much putting crypto back in the box. And is there really any need for such a thing? Is there really anybody that wants it? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.